Hello everyone, are you ready for another adventure? It's me, Woki, and I'm back with another Fake Grand Order video. It's been a bit, but it's because there's nothing really to do in Fake Grand Order because everything is basically a silent waiting for near the end of March when Draco will be here. But they did most recently announce through this Twitter campaign that you can see right here that they've already started collecting the social media campaign stuff for Takasugi Heavy Industries, so I figure I'm going to talk about it and talk about the event itself, and that's going to be today's video. I'll be mainly focusing on this event. There are still a bunch of stuff that's going to be basically these and this that still needs to be announced. I'm going to assume. Originally, in the back of my head, I was thinking that this would be on the 20. It would have been on the 25th, so it would get announced too. Because the time of this recording, it's the 25th for me, and the time this release is the 25th. So I would assume at daybreak today is when they would announce that this is coming up. But if they don't, then I'm going to assume it comes after Valentine's Day, because this, of course, has to be. This is a pre-release. It has to come out before the actual event itself. Otherwise, they're going to be moving stuff around. But like I said, because Draco is happening at the end of the month, thanks to this, a lot of the timeline is very funky and very squirrely. So yeah, I'm just going to focus on the thing that is for sure coming, which is, again, Tale of Chaldean Heavy Industries. So let's get into it. And that's going to be today's video. And after that long ramble, please, if you're still here somehow, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel. Okay, let's go. Tales of the Chaldean Heavy Industries. It's the new event. I don't believe there will be any requirements to be able to do it. You can just do it. The type of event it is a ladder. So we're going to be climbing a ladder, but thankfully this ladder is not as bad as the one we just dealt with for Valentine's Day. But it's still, still kind of bad. In terms of the rewards that we can get from the main quests, you can see here, there'll be 8 St. Quartz. From the points rewards, there's a bunch of stuff in here, such as apples, arrowhead, proof of heroes, wine, golden foes, and 3 lures, but also, most importantly, 3 tickets that you can see right here, one at 50k, an additional one at 400k, and then the final one comes up at 800k, and then that is it. No more after that. They said your free tickets end here. Cool and fun stuff. In terms of the events, like I said, it's going to be a very simple points reward. If you don't know what a points reward is, you just collect points and that's it. The most important thing on here, the good thing about these points rewards is that you very rarely ever have to summon on banners for grind seas, because you just don't end up using it. What you end up doing is just going straight to this final free quest once it unlocks, and just grinding the shit out of this until you get enough points. And in the process of getting enough points, you have collected almost all the materials needed. I just literally did this in Valentine's Day. You're about to go do this again, except for this time, the way the stage is going to look is like a single berserker, a saber, and then a saber and 2 berserkers. And then if you can't complete this one, then we have this one, the one that's just before it, which is perfectly fine and can be suitable for grinding normally. At least I think it should be. I mean, yeah, it's not too bad. The middle one is a little bit freaky if you are trying to use a certain system of stuff, but I don't know. It's not too bad, at least from what I can see. In terms of bond bonuses that are going to be involved in this one, there'll be a bond bonus, 100% attack up and 50% bond to the banner 5 in this event, which is, of course, Takasugi, along with Demon King Nobu also getting 100% damage bonus and 50% bond points. Shoutouts to that one guy in my comments who just absolutely loves Demon King Nobu and always says your favorite Demon King Nobu, not as good. This is your time to shine. That's 100% more attack than normal. Big attack bonus. And then for 50% attack and 50% bond, we have Emiya Alter, Hector, Kojiro, aka Legend, of course. Oh no, it's not 50% bond, it's 30% bond, my bad. This is your time to get Legend bonding. I already have mine at level 10, so not too much there. And I'll go maybe Hector. It is funny to see. They're obviously related to the story, but there you go. And then no bond bonus and 50% attack up goes to Okoni, because they remembered that end bit from her story, and they said that's a really good shipping moment for a lot of people, so we're going to include her on here, even though she is not a male servant. And then finally at the end we have a generic 20% bond bonus to all male servants, plus some additional ones. The additional ones getting it are all gender unknowns, which are Saber Astolfo, Summer Okita Alter, Daisuke, Artemis, Enkidu, Romulus Quernus, Assassin Kama, King Asan, Shi Huangdi, Summer Kama, Kagekiyo, Domin, Chevalier Deon, Canis, Rider Astolfo, Summer Canis, Hogan, and Mysterious Ranmaru X, which, like I said, all of them, for whatever various reasons, have their gender currently as unknown. There you go. And they'll get a 20% bond bonus if you use them. Again, along with every male servant in the game. And then next there will be a servant strengthening for exactly one dude, which is going to be Emi Alter, which is going to be a change from Projection Magecraft C to Circuit Connector Unlawful B+. Quick Buster and Arts Performance up 3 times, 3 turns each, upgraded. Charges on MP gauge. This is the new effect. I don't know too much about Emi Alter because they have, especially on the NA side, they have gone out of their way to make sure to never show Emi Alter, especially with the altered sprite, which they did to make it a little bit less noticeable in certain questionable regards, only to make it way worse. God, I hope they upgraded that sprite again. Okay, second pass. You can do better. Just make it literally the same as regular Emiya. No one questions that, and it's perfectly fine. Anyway, enough about questionable Emiya Alter. Let me get off here before someone starts yelling at me. Let's go to the event shop, which we have the gold, silver, and bronze material, which are the Waraji Katsudan, the Sayama Oka, and the Zeri Deep Fry. Ocha, I think is actually the way you say it. Ocha, not Oka. I don't know why I was saying Oka. Ocha! Ocha, something like that. The golden material, which is again the Waraji Gatsudan, is 3,930 if you want to get absolutely everything inside the shop. Inside the shop, we have 1 lore, 20 demonic flame Hazuki, 20 lamps, 20 bloodstone tears, 20 radiant silver crowns, 20 gold statues for sabers, archers, assassins, and berserkers, a single gold foe for attack and HP, and a code remover, which is pretty standard at this point. If you're wondering where the arts code removers are, it's in the points ladder now. For this event, I should say specifically. And then the thing that always exists, which is the ability to exchange any of your bonus gold currency into QP if you get there at the end. Next, the Ocha has, or is it Oka? I forget. The reason I'm forgetting is because I'm trying to learn Japanese, but at the same time, my brain it wants to mispronounce names so badly that I have to fight against myself sometimes. Just like Pecan and Pycon from Dragon Ball. I can't help myself. My voice wants to say so badly the word wrong. Anyway, to collect all the silver material, you'll need 3,780. Just like the other one, we have 1 lore, 20 reactor cores, 20 gears, 20 giant bands, 30 ashes, 20 silver statues for saber, archer, assassin, and berserker, and then a single attack foe up and a code remover. Next, we go to the bronze material, which if you want to get everything in here, it's 3,600. And the things that are included in here are 20 horseshoes, 30 dragon fangs, 30 pages, 30 bells, 30 gunpowder, 1 HP golden foe, 20 silver HP and attack foes, 55 EXP, 104 EXP, 103 EXP, and then the ability to exchange to the T that you see here. And the T can similarly be converted into the gold material and such and such. So there you go. If you need any of the materials here, this is perfect for you. I can always use any of the bronze materials because it's always good to have a buttload of them. Similar things go for the ash, and for the other ones I think I got a pretty good handle on a bunch of them. And then finally, let's talk about the actual banners, which there are technically 4. There is Takasugi's, which is going to be the only unit that I'm going to be talking about today is Takasugi's, just because I want to wait for the other ones. I said the same thing for Valentine's Day, and then I completely forgot to do it, and then at some point I said, hey, who wants to hear that? And then I realized people would actually probably would have liked to hear it. You should stop being so fucking lazy. So I'll make sure to remember this time. I swear. I'll remember for this time. The other banner features Demon King Nobunaga and Izzo on it. And the third banner features Ryoma and Izzo. And then the fourth banner I mentioned is The Boys, the Chaldea Boys Collection 2023, which will feature all the ones that you see here. Which, again, just in case they do any changes, I will wait to talk about them for later. But it's basically all the ones that are, quote-unquote, free-to-play and or story-locked in some kind of cases. In some cases, and should only really be summoned on if you are someone who's a big, deep fan of them. As someone most recently pointed out, even though... I actually talked to someone most recently who was having this dilemma when they realized... I think it was for one of the upcoming banners for... the Ilya Castle one, which will feature a unit that is going to be in the general banner, but the general banner is actually full enough now that it's actually kind of a pain to get certain SSRs, even if they do go into the general banner. I can say that for certain, since I have been unable to get Nemo at any given point, and I've been able to somehow get MP5 waiver before any of the ones that I'm missing, but I digress. So it's worth it to go for if you're actually legitimately interested in, and you're like, meta be damned, I'm going for it. And speaking of meta be damned, let's talk about Takasugi. So I'm going to go over him right now. The reason I said right now is so I know on the video recording where to make the little cut. There we go. Fun. I haven't forgotten how to make videos yet. Takasugi Shinsaku. I am also not... Is that how you actually say your name? Just to be sure. Dialogue, please. Don't do this to me. You can do it.
Yeah.
僕
が超ド級アーチャーこと長州が生んだ奇跡の英傑高杉晋作だ
Shinsakeda? Okay. I forgot something about the U sometimes doesn't get pronounced is one of the things I learned. Anyway. He's an archer. He has 2 quick, 1 arts, 2 buster, 4 hits on the quick, 4 hits on the arts, 4 hits on the buster, 5 hits on extra. His first skill is the Unconventional Child Prodigy A, increases party's quick performance for 3 turns, increases party's buster performance for 3 turns, overcharges the party's MP by 1 stage for 1 time, 3 turns, 20% to quick and to buster on a cooldown of 6. His second skill is the Innovate, not innovative. I added a IVE, so like I said, I just want to always mispronounce things. Innovate Armaments Reformation, B. Increases one ally's critical damage for 3 turns, and then reduces their skill cooldown by 1, 50% to crit damage, and then the cooldown is 6. His third skill is Retaining the Spirit of Japanese. Retaining the Spirit of Japanese, a hell of a skill name. Grants self-guts for 1 time, 3 turns, charges own MP gauge, increases own attack for 3 turns. He revives with 3000 HP, the NP up is 30%, and the cooldown is 30%, the attack up is 30%, and the cooldown is 7. His passive skills are Magic Resistance D, Independent Action B, and then Hero of Reformation, Eccentric B, increase to own arts performance by 6%, and then increase to own critical damage by 6%. His third pen skill is an anti-ruler attack damage aptitude, and his Noble Phantasm is the Chokyu Inshin. No, I added an N there. Ishin. Chokyu Inshin. I keep doing it. Kihete. Ultra Advanced Reformation. Like I said, it's a learning process, trying to learn things. Rank B+, anti-army, hits 8 times, and it's a quick Noble Phantasm. It deals damage to all enemies. At MP level 1, it's 600%. And if you get them somehow to MP level 5, it's 1,000. And then there's no additional effects on the Noble Phantasm, but that's okay, I think, because they all go to the overcharge effect. Increased own quick arts and buster performance for a single turn. This activates first. And then also increase your own critical damage for 3 turns. This all activates first, even the crit damage. 20% to quick arts and buster, and 30% to crit damage. And if you get them all the way to the final overcharge level, you can get 40% to quick arts and buster, and then to crit damage an additional 50. Not additional. You can have 50% crit damage, and that is Takasugi. Okay, so. How is Takasugi? Well, well, first of all, to go for the positives, he is a quick archer. There's not a lot of them in the game, and a lot of them that we do have currently in the game, like my girls say, can be a little bit questionable in their ability to actually loop in some cases, unless you have them unless you have them in a very specific build or you're going for a certain thing, they can be kind of a pain to go through. Takasugi, from what I can look up, the one video I saw of him looping, he is able to do it with a 100% kaleidoscope, fully max limit broken. Not at max level, I think. Just he has to have a starting 100% NP, and then from there he can kind of go. The reason is that you want to save the charging on MP gauge for wave 2, and then kind of go from there. And he is able to loop, and it helps a little bit that he has many hits on his Noble Phantasm, which is very good, especially for quick, because the more hits on quick, the more it helps with being able to actually charge up your NP. He doesn't have any like inherent way to increase the like NP gain, not so much NP gauge, which I think can kind of hurt in some cases. But again, from based off of that video, he's still able to loop with the kaleidoscope as long as you have it at max limit break and stuff like that. Some other things about him is that you can use him in a kind of like multi-core team, one that kind of is a little bit more focused around quick and buster, obviously, because you want to increase the quick and buster, because he does have the skill that can buff him up a little bit, and then he can also overcharge the party, which can come in pretty nice. I like this second skill in theory because its ability to increase an ally's critical damage for 3 turns and also reduce their skill cooldown can come in handy, especially because he's giving 50% crit damage to basically anyone he wants, even though I think a lot of the time he'll likely just go to him. In some cases, like for example, you're missing the reduced skill cooldown unit for your arc, you can basically use him for that, like a kind of little pseudo support, since he is able to increase Arc's attack just a little bit, and then also give her a NP stage up, and then his third skill can also, this is all related to him, so it doesn't help her at all. But point is, he can do that. He does have a lot of built-in self-crit damage. Like I said, the 50% crit to anyone could be very nice, and if you use him with him, and if you're actually using his Noble Phantasm a whole bunch, 30% crit damage over 3 turns, let's assume that you use this over 3 turns, you're able to use his Noble Phantasm over 3 turns. That's 90% crit damage, and then that's also assuming that you didn't get overcharged at any point, which you're able to get at the beginning. So you're able to do like a lot of crit damage just kind of built in yourself. Like his increase on crit damage is 6%. The first one of these would be 35%, so then the additional 30%, that would make it basically 101% crit damage up when you factor in the 50% that you gain from the second skill, which is nice, especially because it's all him doing it. Now, some specific things that I have against him, I think it's unacceptable to release a unit in the year 2025, I guess for us, but in Japan it was 2023, with no effect on the base Noble Phantasm. I understand that this is still a very nice overcharge effect, and, you know, it's perfectly fine for what it is. As far as an overcharge, I would say this is a super acceptable overcharge as long as it had an additional effect on here, which would have been very nice to have, but he did not have one. He doesn't have anything. They didn't even bother to give him something like the ability to pierce through something, like not even invincibility, just the ability to pierce through evasion or something like that. Didn't really give him anything like that. I don't know why. I really would wish to look into their mind and figure out why, because it's a little bit weird. Next, he doesn't really have a specialization against something else, because usually that's where it goes for in the Noble Phantasm. Not to say that every unit needs it, but I will say that it does help a lot of units out, and especially anything would have been nice. And if he doesn't have a specialization, then it kind of becomes like, okay, then what can you do? Can you do anything besides kind of support people? And the answer is that's all he can really do, is that he can kind of support people, and then also the support can be a little bit like, oh yeah, quick and buster, that's nice, the overcharge is nice. The 50% crit damage is extremely nice. I'm not going to get it, I'm not going to say that that's bad, this is an extremely good skill. But it can be a little bit like, is that enough? Especially with this last one not really doing anything else and just kind of buffing himself. it feels a little bit weird. I feel like if his noble fan, if they wanted him to be a little bit more of a support, so it feels like he's kind of stuck between this weird thing of like, yeah, he's kind of a support unit, but also he kind of wants to buff himself. And I feel like if they had taken some kind of direction on the Noble Phantasm, like if they had made it so that maybe he supports other units with the Noble Phantasm for his main effect, or he specifically buffed himself, it would at least give you an idea of where you wanted to go for him from there. So it ends up being that he ends up having none of that. So, is he bad? No, I don't really think so. I think he's actually pretty good, but just kind of at a base level good and not anything else to say about him. I can't really think of a situation where I would want to use him unless I was specifically feeling like I want to use an AoE quick archer and I'm in need of that, and then I would go for it and go from there, because obviously you'd be able to build up a bunch of crit stars, and for some specific fights in general as well. It would be nice to kind of have crits that you can guarantee for the third turn when there's a big boss that you want to deal with. In that specific instance, and I would say Takasugi would be pretty good, but then you would also have to make sure that he gets all your cards at the right time, which sometimes that's just not always the way to align things. As I was most recently trying to do a whole bunch with my video with Pope Joan, I kept running into the problem of, well, they would just get all the cards that I need on turn 1. And then you're just kind of like, well, shit. Can't really do anything, can I? My whole big plan here was that on turn 3, you were going to really pop off. And then it turns out the other units have to kind of, like, help out and stuff like that. The other thing that I think is a positive on him is that I think he looks cool as hell. I love the design of Takasugi, especially this second stage. Very nice. His Noble Phantasm is really cool, especially if you like giant robots, mechs of some kind. I think that's awesome. But as far as this unit, you have to remember, at the end of this month is Tiamat and Draco. Do you care enough about Takasugi to go summoning for him that you're just like, that does not interest me, I don't care about those women, give me my man? Then I say go for it. I think you'll end up finding a unit that you will find ways to use, especially, and if you can't use them currently, I would suggest next going for Summer Scotty, because you will need her for taking some advantage of a lot of things that you want to do, unless you are specifically looking into multi-core farming in some kind of aspect or something like that. But yeah, if you want to go out for Takasugi, I'm not going to stop you. Obviously, I'd never stop anyone from doing what they do. But if you're someone who is a little bit on the fence and is like, well, I want to hear what he does and I want to get some opinions on him, I think for the most part you're good to save. If you end up really liking Takasugi from the story, I think he ends up being... it's a little bit tough because he ends up being a unit that I like to consider the... oh my god, I didn't get the unit that I was chasing on the GSSR, but I don't have him, and I'm pretty happy about it though still. That's where I would see Takasugi filling the role in. I would not pick him as a unit that I would put on my Selecta SSR for the most part, unless I was a big fan of his. So it's a little bit hard to say, like, okay, so the next best thing is, like, wait for his next banner. Which his next banner would be a year from now. Because obviously the Valentine's Day and White Day units always come back. I went all the way down to see if they had additional banners. I have to go way further down. Oh my god, they talk so much in here. Spoilers. Okay, so you get a Lucky Bag, Summoning Campaign, New Year Special. Let me see, is this the GSSR? That is. So yeah, the next time he's expected to come back up is during another White Day banner, where he will come back here with a bunch of the other White Day boys. And the other thing to also take note is that I think an Arjuna Altar banner is also coming up soon. So there's a lot of dudes and a lot of dudes showing up pretty soon in banners that are gonna pull you one way or the other. Always make the decision that you think is best for you. I think up until I looked at Takatsuji's kit, I was going, I think I'll save for him. But I really want Tiamat. So I think I'm just going to have to cancel that idea of me and my brother summoning for him. Because if I used any of my luck going for him, I feel like I'd feel a little bit bad if none of it went to Draco and Tiamat. Just a little bit. So yeah, that's why I think where I'm currently standing on this. If you have any specific... if you play the JP version of the game for any reason... don't be stupid. If you're playing the JP version of the game and you have Takasugi and you like him, feel free to tell me about your thoughts about him. But that's just currently how I'm kind of feeling. Looking at him, seeing some of the dudes that are coming soon, and some of the ones that are also beyond that even, I don't think Takasugi has that, which is a shame because, like I said, I really do like his character. I loved him in the Gouda Gouda things. I love his design. I love his art. This is a rough one because I look at this art and it immediately makes me want to go. I kind of still want him in some cases. Man. Anyway, best of luck to you if you end up summoning. Feel free to tell me. I don't know, I guess come back. Hopefully I'll have a video out talking about it. Maybe I can do some kind of good luck video for everyone out there when it's closer to his release time and stuff like that. But anyway, that's the end of this video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to be very busy with work, but I'm still going to try and release as many videos as I can. That is possible, especially because we're getting close to the end of the month, but I'm also kind of waiting on the NA side to, like, announce stuff so that I know going in, like, hey, this is happening at the end of February. It's rough out here sometimes. It's happened a lot more recently than it has other times. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until next time, I'll work on getting better at Japanese pronunciations. Still kind of... How do you say that? It's Noble Phantasm. Now it's really going to bother me. How do you say it? I know it's in here. What? Okay, come on. He has to say it at some point. There he is. Okay. Gotta put down the music.
志があるならば、いかなるものであろうとも、一騎当選の強者に。これこそが僕の宝具、騎兵隊。
騎兵隊。
時代ごと叩き潰せ。荒はばき。
I don't think I was that far off. Kihetai. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Till next time, peace out.